At Room to Room, did you know our specialty is custom ordered upholstery? Get the furniture you want and the fabric and color selection you want. With our free design service, we won't let you make a mistake.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Good evening and welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I'm meteorologist Gabe tracking another mild evening across Magnolia State, but dry. And that's one of the benefits tonight, or benefits and also a downfall, because we do need the moisture, but we don't exactly want it to ruin any plans, right? Well, that's rainfall summed up. But the mild temperatures, that's something I think a majority of North Mississippians can agree on, is that the fact that we're enjoying this warming trend. Limited rain chances, though, for our Wednesday, primarily by Wednesday afternoon, where there could be some impactful showers, but storms expected by this weekend is what we're all kind of pointing our direction towards, as we are wanting some of that meaningful rainfall and potentially getting it by this weekend. There might be some strong storms as well. Again, we'll iron this out here at the 10 o'clock hour for Mississippi Live Weather. The first 12, 64 degrees. There's that limited chance of rainfall overnight. Not exactly sold on those rain chances. I do think a lot of this stays out of our area. But getting into the early morning hours and really by the lunchtime period of our Wednesday, that's where I could see some of those showers mixing in, light to moderate in nature and very, very isolated. So it's going to be kind of more miss than hit when we're looking at this forecast. And as we get a look outside right now, Adathan showcasing some of those cloudy skies. I know there's not, our reporting center is down, but we are getting a look at some of those gloomy conditions tonight in the Oktibbeha County area. Definitely a fun time down there in Oktibbeha County. Starkville girls winning earlier on today. Actually have not gotten an end of game update from the Starkville boys. I need to look at that between breaks, but nonetheless, we know we have one team in 7A championships, but we are hoping for both, of course. 72 degrees in Winona, Montgomery County. Staying with those kind of hazy conditions as well. 59 degrees, those dew points, so it is still a drier atmosphere as we do kind of build that back throughout the rest of this week. We're 64 degrees in Fulton, one of the areas we're paying attention to for tomorrow morning, where some of those showers could potentially line up. And of course, there are still some questions because it is such a sporadic development that's taking place, but there is a limited potential there. That's what matters. Our Mama Justice Doppler radar showing us clear air mode right now, meaning that there is nothing to track in the sky, at least not rainfall wise. And so that's where you get the beams that lower a bit and you're able to see a bit more on the horizon, meaning you get some bugs, you get some trees, things like that, but not exactly rainfall. We're all paying attention to this system that's up there towards the north and west from us here in North Mississippi. That's where you're keeping a lot of those rain chances right along that stationary front through Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. And where we're watching for some potential strong storms is out there towards Texas and Oklahoma as this frontal system moves a little bit more towards the east. And that's that lifting mechanism to allow some of these showers to transition to storms and some of the storms transition to strong storms. But that remains west, well away from us here in North Mississippi, whereas here in North Mississippi, we're basically enjoying the warmer air being brought in from the Gulf, and with that warmer air also comes a little bit more moisture, causing that sporadic development as we go about our Wednesday morning. So there you're getting a look at some of that minimal chance of rainfall overnight, and as we get more towards our Wednesday morning, because there is already some warm air in our atmosphere as well as that moisture, that's going to allow for some very light development to happen. And again, Itawamba, Tishomingo County, kind of the areas I'm watching for those showers to take place, but definitely nothing like what they're getting in Kansas or Missouri or up there towards Kentucky. That's where the most unstable air is at, and that's where the lifting mechanisms are taking place, and that's where it'll remain as we go about those Wednesday plans. So fortunately, all we're dealing with is some isolated development and no strong storms. So that's definitely a positive with this forecast, and we'll get to enjoy that even into those Wednesday evening plans as well. I do want to make a note with this forecast, you can kind of see these rain chances lingering there by the afternoon. That's one thing that we'll go over in a little bit more detail here in just a moment, is those rain chances, where those line up, who it may affect, and just how impactful are we talking about, because some showers do have the potential to be a little bit more impactful than what we've gotten so far this week. So we're going to iron that out a little bit more here coming up in the next 60 seconds. We're also going to take a look at our playoff forecast for who's playing tomorrow. That is, of course, 2A and 3A in action in Jackson. So for teams looking to head down there, I know Boonville and East Union, two that I'm very fond of, are headed down there, and I'll have a report for all of the fans out there and all of my family out there of what to expect heading down south. And we are also taking a look at where we're headed this Friday night for our Game of the Week, baseball edition, transitioning in the season. We have that first week of our coverage coming up right after the break.
Game day brings its ups and downs, celebration and disappointment, anxiety and relief, friends and enemies. You can always argue over who should have won, but everyone can agree on great food. Appetizers, entrees, drinks, party platters, or even the taste of sweet victory. There's something for every season at Eat With Us restaurants.
As a bankruptcy firm, Mitchell, Cunningham & Bowling realizes many people are worried about their finances. We're here to guide you through the next steps to restart your life with easy video appointments. New clients don't have to leave home to get information about becoming debt-free. Also, convenient in-office appointments are available at the low cost of $340 upfront for a Chapter 13. You can be on your way to being debt-free. Contact Mitchell, Cunningham & Bowling today or visit our website at mcdebtfree.com. We are here to help you. Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
While it may not be the blood moon, it is still a cool sight. Getting to see that in the skies this evening there in Batesville. Take a look at that eerie horizon right there. I mean, guys, we're in March, but if you took a picture of that sky and showed it to me and asked what vibe it gave off, I would definitely tell you Halloween. Coben capturing that in Panola County. A great shot there right off of Highway 6. And a big thank you to all of our weather watchers for submitting those photos of the blood moon earlier this morning. It was so cool to get to witness, because if you were like me and it was cloudy at your house, that was the only sight you had of the blood moon. So hopefully you did get to view it, and if not, it is on our socials, so make sure to check those out, both, or actually all of our socials, Matt, Maggie, me, and Caleb. So look up any of those pages and you'll be able to see that spectacle for yourself. Again, not happening again until 2029. I will be older. I'm not going to tell you my age. 71 degrees in Rolling Fork. Still that breezy wind coming out of the south at about 10 miles an hour. And that's what's building that moisture back into the forecast, but also keeping these temperatures pretty mild. I mean, we're 67 degrees in Caledonia. Dew point still in the upper 50s. I do still see a few stars out there, so some areas clearer than others. But that cloud cover will build as we get more into our Wednesday. And as we take a look in Blue Springs, I did mention the folks over there at East Union heading south early tomorrow morning because their tip-off is at 9 a.m., the first game of the day. We'll have a look at that forecast coming up here in just a moment. But nonetheless, good luck to all the teams heading out there tomorrow, and congratulations to all the teams that have advanced so far. We're very proud here in North Mississippi that we do have some representation there in the state championship. So good luck. We're cheering for you and excited to see what comes out at the end of it. Taking a look at our Mama Justice Doppler radar, we are still getting that clear air return, meaning there is no rainfall in the forecast tonight. And there is a minimal chance of a shower here and there, but honestly, guys, I would expect more of our impactful rainfall to be on our Wednesday afternoon. So if we do get any rainfall, basically flip the windshield wipers on for a couple of minutes and you'll be good to go, because it's not going to last long, and that's only on the first setting more than likely. So this frontal system has been driving our weather pattern for the past several days now, and will continue to do so through the rest of this week. Whenever we are behind this front right here, this is a stationary front, but it actually brought up that warmer air, formerly a warm front, and that's what's allowed us to be in the warm sector, meaning that showers are possible, meaning the mild temperatures stick around. And that's exactly what we're continuing to enjoy as we get into our Tuesday night. I mean, looking at a few of these temperatures across the area, we're talking Tupelo coming in at about 68 degrees, Springfield, same thing, 66, Lexington, a little bit cooler there at 55, Montgomery, 65, Shreveport, 71. But then you jump up there towards Wichita, towards Denver. Of course, Denver a little bit more elevated, towards Indianapolis, and you get 40s in the forecast. So all of the cold air basically trapped up north behind that system, and we won't see that until next week. Yes, there is potential for a dip, but we're not talking freezing temperatures, but nonetheless, that's going to be how long it takes for any of that cooler air to work its way back into the forecast. And dew points right now still in the 60s for a large part of the Mississippi, Louisiana, and Arkansas area. And this is, again, that unstable air that is paired with some of these showers and storms that basically allow for some of that development by the afternoon. As we were talking about earlier on at 6 o'clock, you need heat and moisture to form some of those storms. I just showed you we had heat and moisture. Whenever you get the strong storms, that's when you have a lifting mechanism attached to it, and that's why out west they have an increased chance of severe weather. Our day planner tonight stays mostly dry, and I'm going to say mostly dry basically throughout tonight, throughout tomorrow, throughout Thursday, and even Friday, because with us being in the warm sector, there is that potential at some of that sporadic development, so it's not impossible to see a drop overnight, but 98% of us will stay dry during those overnight hours. There you're getting a look at some of those showers. Again, very limited and very much not impactful by your Wednesday 2 a.m., 3 a.m. hour. But as we get more into our Wednesday morning commute, you can see how some of this development just basically moves there towards Tishomingo and Itawamba County by the time we get towards mid to late morning. Track that in just a moment. First, I want to show these low temperatures. We're 59 Amory, Tupelo, and Boonville, 60 Water Valley, Oxford, and New Albany, 62 Greenwood, 62 Cleveland, and 63 for folks there out in Greenville. Now, for folks that are heading off to the games tomorrow, going to look like a little bit of a different forecast, but for folks that are heading to school, it's 59 degrees at pickup, 80 degrees towards drop-off, and again, partly to mostly cloudy skies will linger all day long with times containing some of those rain chances. So let's go ahead and track that mid-morning. Take a look at the sporadic development and how that just continues to develop right along this same boundary. That's what a warm sector does. If you know the summer pattern here in Mississippi, and if you don't, then ask someone who's lived here for a decent bit of time, and they'll let you know that basically every summer day afternoon, you basically have a chance of an isolated shower, an isolated thunderstorm. And that's because it is so warm and so muggy that you basically have the ingredients there for some of those showers to take place. And that's what we have on our Wednesday afternoon, still with some of that sporadic development right there towards Monroe County, Itawamba, still up there towards Tishomingo. Not impossible that we do get some of that isolated development there towards northwest Mississippi. But again, all of this well below severe limits, and honestly, a large part of this not even containing a rumble of thunder. Not until later on in the day, and this is as that front creeps a little bit closer. Thunderstorm activity remaining out there towards the west, but you do see some of this prefrontal development that'll begin to move into North Mississippi. Not expecting severe storms out of this, but could we contain a rumble of thunder, especially with that one right there towards Greenville and Greenwood? Not impossible that we do get that with this boundary that continues to develop right over the top of North Mississippi, even that one there towards Eupora standing out as well. Speaking of Eupora, 82 degrees, 82 in Starkville. We're 81 Greenwood, Grenada, and Water Valley, 79 Senatobia and Holly Springs, and 77 towards folks out there in Red Bay, Alabama. Looking like a great forecast. A warm forecast, but you do have to dodge some of these showers. Those will continue to move in during the 7, 8, 9 o'clock hour, and even there by midnight, still tracking that limited batch of moisture. But as we get into the overnight hours, those should start to thin up just a bit, so not going to be as impactful as those rain showers. But I do want to note, while rumbles of thunder are possible, brief heavy downpours are also possible. So expecting by this time tomorrow to be actually tracking some measurable amounts of rainfall. Excited about that because we need rainfall and it's going to be below severe limits. That's a thumbs up forecast. Our Thursday morning stays on the mostly dry side once again as those showers taper off, but that's because it's nighttime and you don't have that heat of the day to allow those showers to form, and that's why we're more of a limited capacity during those overnight hours, and especially as we get our Thursday morning started. We're 64 South Haven and Tunica, 60 Tupelo, Amory, and Starkville, 59 Columbus, Ellisville, and Vernon, Alabama, and I do see a 64 out there towards Greenville as well, so mild temperatures continue to be the story no matter where you're at here in North Mississippi. As we keep our future cast moving throughout your Thursday, there's the chance that, again, a few more of those isolated showers developing right along that I-55 area, even west of I-55. But if you watch this front, and of course we've been talking about how this front will not affect us, it basically retreats off there towards the north, taking all of these rain and storm chances with it. Still some isolated development, yes, but in regards to severe weather attached to that cold front, not going to play a factor in our forecast here in North Mississippi. But if we expand things out, we're not far away from our weather maker, and that is going to be further out here towards Kansas, towards Oklahoma. Right here along this dry line, there's a low pressure system attached to it that'll be working its way east into the North Mississippi area, giving us increased chances of showers, increased chances of storms, and increased chances of potentially some strong storms by the weekend. So our Thursday, being that it is still mostly dry, we are continuing to see those warm temperatures in the forecast. We're 82 Houston, Amory, and Columbus, 82 Vernon, Alabama, 79 Iuka and Tunica, and 82 Greenwood and Belzona. Rain chances over the next several days, like I mentioned. Basically, we climb into the weekend, 50% chance, 30% there by Sunday, and then 40% into Monday. And honestly, I wish I had a few more days on this to highlight the fact that those rain chances don't go away. By Wednesday of next week, Thursday of next week, that's where we'll have another disturbance moving into North Mississippi, potentially giving us some more strong storms. I mean, we are in that time of year where the shifting of the seasons, the multiple weather makers moving in, that's going to be driving a large part of our forecast, keeping those rain chances around and potentially giving us those strong storms. So if you've not done so already, Mississippi Live Weather app, or any way to receive those alerts, even with Weather Call, that becomes a big, important factor when we're talking about getting those layers of protection as we head through the spring season. As we take a look at our 7-day forecast, we continue to remain warm, even with those rain chances, but those rain chances do drop our temperatures just a bit. But honestly, guys, once that frontal boundary clears, it is not going to drop us at all. We're still getting back into the 80s by Tuesday with some of those drier conditions moving in, or should I say mostly dry conditions moving in. But again, by midweek next week, I think we're all kind of looking ahead towards that as well, as another more prominent disturbance tries to move into North Mississippi. This all being said, this is days away. So we're going to take it day by day and walk through that forecast more in detail as more data comes in. So make sure to keep it here for the very latest. For folks that are heading down to Jackson, I don't want to overlook you real quick. Our 2A and 3A action tips off at 9 a.m. tomorrow. By noon, we'll continue to see those mild conditions in the area at 78 degrees and 81 by 3 p.m. down there in Jackson. Should be a great time in the big house. And our 3A and 2A teams will tip off, kind of rounding out who is in the championships. So we're hopeful that we get that North Mississippi representation. Of course, I am hopeful. All of my Urchin fans out there, I know that I have some family there too. So we're rooting you on there at East Union, and we're also rooting on the Boonville Blue Devils as they're playing in 3A action as well. So my wife, she's a Blue Devil, so that makes me an honorary Blue Devil, so rooting them on as well. Yeah, should be a good time, and we're going to work to have those highlights coming up later on this week. Our Ethan Foster also doing some pick'em, so he's going to tell us who he has in these matchups, and it should be a great time. All right, I'm going to toss it back over to the other side of the Room to Room Weather Center to show you what we have in regards to results with our Mississippi Live Game of the Week. So let's toss it over there real quick. All right, so as you can see, this is our poll that we put out earlier this morning, and this was baseball, softball action, as we are transitioning our seasons as well here at Mississippi Live Weather, and we are covering our Week 1 game for us. I know you guys have started, but our Week 1 game for us here at Mississippi Live Weather, we are headed off there towards New Albany, playing at Houston. Should be a great game at Houston, and we are excited to get down there and get some highlights together. Excited to feature some of the fans out there as well. Should be a great time, and I always love ballpark food. Yeah, it's carrying over into the baseball season as well. So if I'm headed to any of those games, concession stands, get ready, because I am excited about getting that going. All right, everybody. We have kept you long enough at 10 o'clock for what was a pretty dry day, but do note that you might hear a few drops of rainfall overnight, and those will carry over into your Wednesday afternoon as well. Our meteorologist Maggie McCauley will have the latest updates on that coming up later on your Wednesday morning, so make sure to get that free app to tune into what she has to say. iOS and Android, the QR code's there on the bottom of your screen. And our broadcast schedule starts at 6:30, 7, and 7:30 live here from the Room to Room Weather Center. And at 5, 6, and 10, Chief Meteorologist Matt Laupon and I will be back here in the studio to tell you more on what to expect with these rain chances. And yes, I see my mom-in-law. Let's go, Lady Urchins. Should be a good time down there at 9 o'clock. So good luck to all teams. Can't wait to hear about the results and see who comes out on top. We'll see you bright and early Wednesday morning.
Growing up, Gabe was naturally curious. When he began to discover weather, Gabe just didn't want to know what was happening, but he wanted to know why it was happening. Gabe became fascinated with tornadoes, and it impacted his life. He wanted to pursue a career in meteorology. Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.